Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Black Wire over here. So I'm back to show you some more cards that I've got back from Jimmix. In part one, I went ahead and covered that we got about 100 cards that came back from Jimmix, and I just came back from Japan. And I just wanted to be able to share with you guys like some of the cards that came back, and then just kind of what the grades were, and go a little bit more into the behind the scenes of how Jimmix works. So what I'll try to do this time around is just show the submission process, and then we can kind of dive a little bit deeper into what cards I actually got back. This is just a small set. I've got plenty other cards. It'll take so long for me to go through all the cards, but I'll try to show you what I can. So I'll go ahead and I'll move over to the website, and I'll just show what the main web page looks like. So as you go over to the Jimmix website, it's just overall splash page, talks about like how many cards were graded, and then just like why you should join their or why you should grade with their company, and just what makes them different. So it is very true that it's giving one of the more detailed breakouts than what you would normally see from something like maybe ARS or something like that. And I think that really comes from the perspective of they're giving you more detail on the centering, and breaking out more information that you probably would get from even their local PSA or any CGC or Beckett or something like that. So just a lot of transparency in general. What I'll do is talk about a little bit of the pricing first. So they have changed and updated their prices. So what you're looking at is about 3,500 JPY per card. What that means is roughly 23 dollars for your basic submissions. That requires a minimum of 10 cards. And what that gives you is an insurance value of 20,000 JPY, which is, I would say, if you had a $150 card, that's probably where you're landing with this basic package. Now, don't get me wrong, you can submit any card with the basic package, and a card would be covered up to that point. So if anything happens in the grading process, they'll just reimbursed based on that. Now, don't get me wrong, I've never had a situation where I had to be reimbursed in my over. And then, by the way, it's not just 100 cards that I have. And it's just for this particular batch of return that I had 100 cards come back. I've actually had about over 200 cards graded with Gemix. So in that situation, I've had zero issues, whether it be an international submission or a submission directly from into Japan. And then just looking at some of the standard and plus packages, those are more so for the coverage opportunity you get there. So you're looking at just a little bit more insurance as it's covering these cards. And I have submitted an extremely expensive card I don't want to go into too much detail about, but yeah, here you can kind of see what these prices translate to. Sorry I didn't give you that in the beginning. I didn't know it existed. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and just push the submit button so you know what that looks like. And so it's very easy. All you have to do, one thing I recommend, is just go ahead and hit the add multiple cards. And as you hit that, you can pick what ECG you want to look for. I'm gonna hit Pokemon right here, and you can see that it gives you the option for the what the card language is, and then what the label language is. If you have Chinese, don't even worry about it. Just leave it as is. They will figure it out. As far as the label, you can see that you have options as far as what you want your label to be, whether it be Japanese or English. And same thing is offered button. I might be standing corrected here in an earlier video. In my first one, I mentioned that you could put the English ones in Japanese. It looks like you can, but all they're asking for you to do is just put the card name right here. Once you put the card name in, you can just go ahead and hit the plus button, and then add the next card, and you're good to go. You hit the value requirement that you're looking for. So if it's basic 10 plus, and drop the slider down to the basic, you're good to go. If it's one of the higher end, you could do premium. And then another thing you can do is there's a little bit of an opportunity for you to have a fail safe. So if you really are looking for your card to 10, and if it doesn't 10, you don't want it graded, they'll let you do something like this minimum grade option. And when it doesn't meet the minimum grade option, they just don't slab it. So here you can see how that's depicted. So yeah, it's that simple. And that goes for whether you're shipping from the United States or whether you're shipping from Japan. But let's see if I can show you the shipping guidelines. So here you go. If you're shipping from Japan, it's pretty simple. You just go ahead and crank out the PDF, secure your card with cardboard, wrap it up in bubble wrap, and then use Yamato. You're usually good to go from there. The arrival from shipment to arrival time, if you're shipping straight from Japan, is probably a day. And then if you're shipping from the United States, depending on where you are, unfortunately, I'm in a location where it's just harder to ship. But I would imagine that once you clear customs, it'd probably take about 5 days for it to get in their hands. But overall, I would say that the overall shipping process is very simple. And then they have options for international. You are looking for the international option, you just need to click this button right here. And it'll pop it right up, international shipping guidelines. And it tells you what customs requirements are needed. There's a special label or information that you need for your customs fees and things like that. But honestly, the customs fees, when I used this to ship 50 cards, was about maybe $20. And that's both ways. So it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, so that's that. Let's go ahead and get back into the cards. So we've got here a Ceruledge. Shout out to Henry. The guy can't say Ceruledge to save his life. But yeah, this is a really awesome card. Love it. It's very cheap in Japanese, by the way, about 2,500 yen. So very, very cheap. Yep, that one got a 9. I'm not going to go into too many of these cards, grade breakouts this time around. I'll just show the cards, and then if there's some cards of interest that maybe we want to get a closer look at, we'll do that. But once again, we got Cynthia here, and anyone who knows me knows I love this card. I mean, you've got a trainer, you've got 2 of the Pokemon, one of the Pokemon being a shiny version of it. And then you've got the Garchomp in the back. Freaking amazing. All-star card. This card, by the way, was cracked from a PSA 9. So it just went from a PSA 9 to Gemix 9. Great for the PC. I want to say that this one was cracked as well. Got a Gemix 8, but I'm going to take a closer look at this one. But pretty sure this one was cracked from his 9 as well. Got the Zekrom. This is my favorite trainer gallery card. I've mentioned this in my podcast. And then, by the way, if you weren't aware that I am in a podcast, it's called the Print Layer. So be on the lookout for the Print Layer podcast. It's a great way to hear about myself as well as Hectic TCG, and why we love illustrations. It focuses away from the market and all the market watches and focuses more on the cards. So I definitely love it and recommend it for anyone who really just loves collecting Pokemon and really loves talking about the illustrations and the beauty of the art of the cards. So next up, we've got one of our, what I call the rookie Mewtwo. Very beautiful. You can see it's from a Diamond Pearl promotion card. Got a six swirl right there at the bottom. Kind of hard to see. Pretty sweet. Got a 7 there, but I expected that. Pull it from my binder. I just wanted it to be in a slab. Same thing for these, as these are coming up. These were basically just cards that I wanted to slab. I do have these all in 10s. but I wanted to make sure I just had some of these in the Gemix portion. So I've just been grading these in Gemix to have them. I was really surprised that this one got a 9. Look at that. Let's see if I can get closer for the. So you can see there, beautiful swirl. This one has a 6. The front. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull this one up. Let's see what's going on with this card. Hopefully I can get the right batch. No, this isn't the right batch. And you can see all the cards I've graded. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we're doing good on centering. Looks like there's a lot of action going on in the corners, surface, and edges. And here's an example of what it looks like when your stuff isn't global. So what I mean by global is like if there was whitening all over the corners. If that was the case, it'd be hard to depict. So that's why you don't normally see that. But there's a crease on both front edges, on the top left and top right. And you know what? I can see it. Yeah. And then, there's these little small scratches there. Looks like there's a larger scratch in the middle, hence the S1 versus S2. And I forgot what the Z was for. I have to look that up. I'll pop it up on a screen. And it's a little bit shifted. This one's a little bit right heavy, I want to say, in the back. And you can see that there's whitening right there at the top. And then each of the corners has a little bit of whitening. Like there's corners, and then there's a little bit of edges. And then, yeah, just a lot of stuff going on. But I'm glad that I know that. And even if it does have all that stuff, see that just looks so beautiful. And this picture actually really shows some of those scratches. But the original photo, let's see here. That's glorious. But you can still see the surface scratches. Here's what it looks like. Again, I'll go back to the in person to show you what that looks like. In person, you could barely tell. Freaking awesome. Let's keep going. So these cards are more so in my personal collection, keep forever pool. So freaking love these cards. Probably not going anywhere. If you do see me selling these cards, I'm probably going to be selling them at a card show. What I really want to do is find people who love to collect cards and they want to find a slab that's better. I don't want to sell cards to sell them or to make profit from these slabs. I really just want people to see what's out there, to be able to see something better. Because I think that this really could compete with PSA, CGC, etc. People really understood how awesome this company really is and how easy it is to grade with them. Here's a grand party card. If you haven't seen one of these, I think it's a great time to pick one of these up. It's a double black star promo. Gorgeous. Yeah, pick this one up raw. So we got. Oh man. Yeah, I cracked this one from a PSA slab. I think this one was a 9 as well, but I cracked it from PSA. And I'm just very happy that it was able to still get a 9 because I was very scared that I was going to damage it while I was cracking it open. I gotta say, I really love the web series cards in these slabs. And here's another one, e-reader. This one up straight from Japan. Let's see if I can get that swirl. Kind of hard to see. It's okay. This one I got a 7. When I saw this in person, I mean, I knew that it was far from a 10, but to see it be a 7, I was very impressed. Ah, so we're about to have the Legends cards come out. So these are all my Legends prize cards. So we got the Scyther here. I think this one was a CGC7. I think I cracked this from a CGC7 slab. Yep. All right. Got the Electabuzz Legends prize card. For both of these, I think that the population in PSA overall is something like 1,500. Not so many graded, like, period. So, very happy to have these. Got your Collector's Box Pikachu. Looking great. It's in an 8, but that's because I sold my 10. I've got a few more of these. So I will putting something up for sale. I just don't know which one of these it'll be. So if you didn't know, I'm collecting a lot of the Pikachu and Friends cards. So in the back, like kind of the bottom right here, camera. But yeah, these are all my Pikachu and Friends cards at the bottom. I'm gonna fill this wall up. So now that I'm showing it to you guys, you'll be seeing them on the wall very soon. It's got the 9 there. So this was cracked, I think, from a 10. You know what? It might have been a 9. It might have been a PSA 9 slab that I cracked and graded into Jimmix, because I think I sold my 10. Yeah, and then these are Radiant cards. Absolutely love these. I'm going to talk about this in the Print Layer podcast, so you're going to hear a little bit about this card in a little bit. Be on the lookout. We've got the Radiant Charizard, the best version. You know, they've got that Pokemon Co version. Really hate that card. But yeah, this one came back in a 10. I thought these would both come back at a 10, to be honest. Let's see here. The camera. You know what? This is something where I could probably look up Ibex's question. And I'm going to show that here. So the question or concern was, do the zigzag print lines count as like a error, or is it going to get docked in points or something like that? I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. I don't know if this has any. I don't think I've seen any in these. I picked these cards for a reason. I don't think they have those print errors, as I call them, and as he would not call them, since he thinks they're part of the card. And it looks like Jimmix has found nothing on this front of the card. On the back of the card, it found 4 specks of whitening. And that 4 specks of whitening dictated it goes straight for it to a 10 instead of a 10 gold or a 10 black. Given what I've seen from Gemix, usually I've seen 3 imperfections generate a 9. So this is pretty good. You can see the overall population of graded cards. You got 12 there, 1 in a 10 black, 3 in a 10 gold, and 4 and 4. And even though it's a new card, you can see there's 2 9s in here. So it's not like they're just giving out candy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Greninja. So, looking at the screen capture, see any visible like zigzag errors? Wait, I do see one at the top. Here you go. So now we get to put it to the test to see if they consider that as a docking points. So no, they actually don't dock the points in front. So that means that those lines weren't considered in imperfection in the grading. But you know what? I didn't check any V cards to see if their print lines would be what do you call it? Like scrutinized for print lines. Right now I'm staring at a V card to see if it has any print lines. No, I'll have to come back to it. So maybe in part 3, I'll try to find some Jimmix cards that have print lines in them, so I could show it with you guys and kind of break down how Jimmix perceives those. So we got a dent here. Just a little bit of whitening there in the corners, but gorgeous card. I can't complain. See that? Yeah, you can still see the zigzag. Yep, I consider that an error. Then going to our last bit here. I've got the Ray EX. I love this card. Oh my god. It's got the 8, but it's a vintage. You know, I mean, well, I consider it vintage, mid vintage. You know, just however you want to call it. Yeah. Got the Squirtle here. Freaking awesome. This is a hollow bleed. Oh man, can't really see it that well. Show. It's not really showing that well. I think the company depicts it in its screen capture. Give me one sec. Let's see if I can pull it up. I think you can see it better here. Yeah, it's got the hollow bleed. You can see all the hollow sparkles right there. Very beautiful card. I am selling this one. And it's got the 10. Once again, 10 centering, 10 on the surface, 9.5 on the corners, 9.5 on the edges. Perfect front. And then 3 specks of whitening. So it looks like the average is 3 imperfections still would validate a 10. And when you're talking about 4, then it probably slide it to a 9. And it's only one graded. So I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. You know, so thanks for just listening in and to for this batch. And if you have any questions, once again, just leave them in the comments, man. I'm happy to address any questions or concerns about this company. I freaking love the company. They've done a wonderful job. What I would say is perfecting a slab and perfecting what it means to be a collector, and perfecting what it means to evaluate. So I definitely enjoy grading these cards, and like I said, if when I sell it or decide to sell certain cards, I definitely look at trying to do a card show and be able to just have just Gemix slabs, just to get people's opinion and to be able to help people understand what's out there. I don't necessarily care if I can make a whole bunch of money about it or a bunch of money from it. It's more so about making sure people are informed and people have an opportunity to vote with their wallets. I think right now people are feeling like they're in a corner, like there's nothing really else out there for them, but there really is. So I'm happy to see other companies doing their thing, improving, and becoming more of a challenge to companies like PSA, BGS, CGC, and I want to see more. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it. So go ahead and give me a like, please, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to sharing with you guys the next one.